without Caitlin Clark, nobody cared about tonight's game. Caitlin Clark runs this league, and we still managed to get clapped up by 30 even without her playing. Thank God she didn't play, or else we might have lost by 50. But
is this the end for Angel Reese? Did the fever blowout spark a meltdown that can't be reversed? You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube, the no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts. All right, Black and White Sports reporters. Well, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sautéed, whatever your form of cooking may be, and/or fireworks, fireplay, I don't know. But the Indiana Fever, as revealed in a video reaction right after the game, absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
I don't sell tickets, I sell victimhood. So the reason we lost tonight is because of racism. Caitlin Clark mocked.
When a single game makes headlines for more than a box score, something profound has shifted. Expectations around a player who once seemed destined for greatness now teeter on the edge of collapse. A fan base that once roared in approval now mutters doubts in hushed tones. Critics sharpen their pencils and prepare their hot takes to eviscerate every missed shot and every defensive lapse. In the glare of that spotlight, a blowout doesn't just rub salt in wounds, it shines a spotlight on broader truths that cannot be ignored. A star's reputation is built on consistency, impact, and moments that resonate long after the final buzzer. When one of those pillars wobbles, doubters creep in like slow insects, chittering with speculation. The very foundation of confidence quakes when a bad night becomes a night of epic proportions. Fans who once tipped their hats now lower their gazes, unwilling to meet the eyes of someone who seemed invincible. Yet amid the rubble of expectations lies an opportunity to dig deeper, to ask hard questions about talent, mindset, and the unforgiving nature of high-level sport.
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't had time to watch it yet. I kind of saw a couple of things that he said, but obviously me and Allen Iverson have had a great connection, obviously building with the Reebok.
Reactions flood social media platforms, pundits circling like vultures eager to feast on the carcass of a fallen idol. Exaggeration becomes the norm, hyperbole the currency. Every missed free throw is replayed in slow motion, dissected for hidden failings. Each defensive misstep is packaged as evidence of a career spiraling toward oblivion. In that frenzy, nuance is discarded, accuracy dismissed, and the narrative rigidly fixed. The end is nigh.
Brand and just obviously I talked to Shaq yesterday, just continuing to build up the brand. I think we got great feedback from these shoes, and I hope people know these are not my signature shoe.
Yet and still, beneath the clamor of outrage, proper context can be unearthed. A single poor performance doesn't define a career, but it can reveal cracks in preparation and approach. True greatness often stems from how one responds when everything goes wrong. Does the player shrink? Or do they return sharper, more determined, with fire in their eyes? With stakes as high as they are in professional sport, the response to adversity matters more than the adversity itself.
These are just the PEs that came out pretty gritty, but my signature shoe coming soon, 2026. So I'm just super excited for that, and I think just the feedback and where Reebok is growing and coming back about is just going to be.
It's tempting to brand a struggling star as a bust, a cautionary tale to deter the next generation of hopefuls. History is lined with names that never lived up to early hype, but that same history also holds legends who rose from the ashes of public humiliation. Resilience runs deeper than talent, shaping careers and legacies in equal measure. The question is whether the athlete in question, Angel Reese, can tap into that reserve and rewrite the script.
Rebellion too strong. Look out, this is Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets Caitlin Clark. After to say as Clark.
Cynicism thrives in uncertainty. When a once-lauded rookie hovers around modest numbers, whispers become roars. Comparisons to dominant rebounders and scoring machines emerge, each more unfair than the last. Rarely do players within their initial seasons match the legends who came before. Yet the media and fans alike demand immediate returns on investment, forgetting that even the greatest need time to grow. A blowout loss magnifies flaws, but it mustn't obscure potential. Critics point to poor shooting percentages, low scoring output, and a minus 20 plus-minus figure as irrefutable proof of decline. They cite meager 2 for 7 shooting as though it signals an irreversible trend. But cherry-picking statistics without acknowledging the player's role in fast-paced lineups and defensive schemes misses half the picture. Rebounding numbers alone can't seal a case. A player who once dominated the glass now finds herself outmuscled by sharp-angle defenders. The game's speed exposes weaknesses, forcing her to chase loose balls rather than control the paint. Yet rebounds are only one dimension of a multifaceted role that also demands scoring threat, defensive presence, and playmaking instincts.
You know, there are always in eyeballs, energy, tension matchup between Reese and Clark. Reese.
Defensive lapses stand out under the bright lights of defeat. Critics will highlight blown rotations and late closes as evidence of a complacent approach. But those same lapses can stem from fatigue, mismatches, and miscommunications, especially in teams struggling for cohesion. Blaming the individual without examining systemic breakdowns is a disservice to truth. On offense, rhythm is everything. Without confidence, shots clank off rims and hesitation creeps into every decision. What once felt like a smooth release becomes labored, mechanical. The energy that fueled powerful drives and thunderous putbacks drains away, replaced by caution and second guessing. In that vacuum, performance suffers and critics pounce. A blowout that ends in 4 points and 12 rebounds over 26+ minutes raises eyebrows. To dismiss that as career ender requires a willful ignorance of sports history. Every star has endured poor outings, games where rookie mistake after mistake leaves fans shaking their heads. The mark of a true professional is what they do in the wake of such nights.
Clark and Angel Reese is still going after Caitlin Clark.
Everyone in the arena was coming. As soon as you saw Angel Reese, knew that Caitlin Clark was going to come.
That Angel took exception to. So initially, Angel pushes Natasha Howard. Caitlin Clark, the no call, then she.
Reactionary analysis thrives in dark times. Fans and media alike circle like sharks, smelling uncertainty in the water. They call for benchings, coaching changes, and roster upheavals. In the furious quest for answers, the spotlight shifts away from the player and onto the broader organization. Coaches blamed, schemes criticized, teammates accused. Yet to truly understand, one must consider context. The coach's system may not accentuate a player's strengths. A lack of veteran guidance can leave rookies adrift when faced with defensive pressure. A franchise's overall talent level determines how often a young player faces double teams and shutdown schemes. When the supporting cast struggles, the star stands exposed. Skepticism is healthy in sport, but cynicism corrodes fair judgment. It's easier to declare a talent's demise than to acknowledge the long road to consistency. A single blowout loss must not become the sole narrative thread in a player's story. Instead, it should spark a deeper inquiry. What adjustments are needed to help talent flourish?
From your perspective, just what you saw in that play, how you interpreted what happened.
Basketball play, Rex got it right.
The fever of public opinion demands quick fixes, trade her, bench her, plug and play someone else. Yet building champions requires patience and investment. Talent must be cultivated, flaws addressed through film study, training regimens, and mental coaching. Successful organizations know the value of time and process over knee-jerk reactions. Fans crave heroes, yet they are quick to turn on those who fail to meet sky-high expectations. When a player wears the mantle of generational talent, every misstep is magnified. Applause turns to boos, praise to pitiful laughter. The athlete must navigate not only opponents on the court, but also a tempest of opinions off it. At times like these, traditional values offer guidance. Hard work, discipline, and respect for craft remain timeless. The path to greatness has always been paved with setbacks, self-doubt, and rigorous learning. Legends aren't born in flawless presentations, they are forged in the crucible of adversity. A satirical lens underscores the absurdity of overreaction. How quickly does the tide turn from hero worship to scorn? One game of poor shooting becomes fodder for ridicule across countless highlight reels. Every missed shot spins into a meme. Every defensive stop becomes a footnote. In that digital echo chamber, nuance evaporates. Yet humor can also bring clarity. Mocking the frenzy helps strip away hysteria and isolate genuine issues. When satire exposes the ridiculousness of certain takes, it paves the way for measured discussion. Laughter can soften the blow of criticism, allowing space for growth rather than destruction. A high-energy script must balance heat with honesty. There's no room for sugarcoating when performance dips this low, yet it's equally critical to avoid scalding the player beyond repair. Reveling in schadenfreude does neither fan nor franchise any favors. The goal remains truth-telling with a hint of humor, not character assassination. Angel Reese's journey has only just begun. The rookie season is rife with peaks and valleys. Stars seldom ascend in straight lines. More often, they zigzag through triumph and trouble. The question isn't whether this game marks the end, it's how she rebounds from here. Call it a meltdown or a wake-up call, but something shifted when the Fever ran roughshod over the sky. It forced a reevaluation of narratives that assumed instant stardom. It reminded everyone that basketball is a brutal arena where talent, preparation, and mental strength collide unpredictably. Fans must temper hot takes with historical perspective. Even the league's greats endured rough starts. A bad game doesn't define a career any more than a great game guarantees one. Longevity and legacy spring from persistence, adaptability, and unrelenting work ethic.
The official, walk me through your perspective on the flagrant foul. What was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know? If you don't...
Coaches, too, have lessons to learn from blowout losses. Systems must evolve to support promising young players. Rookies need leadership, not harsh public scolding, to reach their potential. Encouragement coupled with correction often yields better outcomes than relentless criticism. In the final analysis, the sport demands both toughness and grace. Spectators yearn for fierce competitors, yet they must allow room for growth. The player's path is never smooth. It's carved through sweat, strategy, and sometimes spectacular failures. So, is this the end for Angel Reese? Not if lessons are learned, adjustments made, and confidence restored. The only true end comes when a player refuses to fight, either on the court or in the mind. Until then, every setback is an invitation to rise stronger. At the buzzer of that blowout, the story did not conclude, it entered a new chapter. A player once lauded for rebounding prowess now faces doubts about her scoring touch and defensive acumen. How she answers that challenge will define more than just a season. It will test her resilience and character. Fans will watch, critics will jab, and social media will churn, but the real story unfolds in practice gyms, film sessions, and the silent minutes before tip-off. Success belongs to those who transform criticism into fuel, who embrace hard truths, and who emerge from failure not broken, but emboldened.
Either Angel gets wide open 2 points or, you know, we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
The narrative need not end at defeat. It begins with the choice to learn, adapt, and return with renewed purpose. That choice separates champions from pretenders, legends from footnotes. If Angel Reese seizes that moment, the Fever blowout will prove not an end, but a critical crossroads on her journey. Until then, the questions linger. Will she reclaim the shot she once released with confidence? Can she translate raw energy into consistent production? Will she withstand the currents of expectation and doubt without capsizing? The answers await in the games to come. Fans hungry for drama will find it on every tip-off. Yet the richest stories often emerge from the struggle to overcome. When players lean into adversity, the crowd witnesses real growth rather than spectacle. In those moments, sport transcends entertainment and becomes a testament to human will. So tune in, watch closely, and look beyond the highlight reels. Assess with fair eyes and steady judgment. Celebrate success, critique failure, but never lose sight of the bigger picture, the pursuit of excellence in an arena where nothing is guaranteed. Subbing out of anger solves nothing. Throwing bench players into the fray won't cure deeper issues. Lasting change comes from targeted training, thoughtful coaching, and unwavering support balanced with honest critique. In that environment, a young talent can find her stride once more. High energy reaction is fun for a minute, but lasting impact arises from measured analysis. Let the chatter rage, let memes multiply, but focus on substance. Consider shooting form, footwork, decision-making, and mental preparation as the tools to rebuild momentum.
Clark, hammer.
That's right.
Reese is being reviewed for a possible upgrade to a flagrant.
I think it'll be upgraded here. And, you know, she gets her really hard there.
In the end, basketball rewards those who refuse to quit. Legends are rarely those who coast. They are fighters who find themselves tested. If Reese holds fast to that spirit, the Fever blowout will mark not a finale, but the prologue to a storied career. So, buckle up, sports world. The next chapter promises intrigue. Will a sophomore surge silence the doubters? Will refined technique restore confidence? Or will the pressure prove too great? Only time and the next game will tell. Until then, keep the debate alive. Celebrate effort, demand improvement, and maintain the tradition of honest, no-nonsense commentary. When the cheers or boos fade, what remains is a player's determination to learn and rise. In that crucible of sport, reputations are built and rebuilt with each performance. The end for Angel Reese? Far from it. The true test lies ahead. Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.